Hi, welcome back, lady. We're still continuing with how to be that fruitful woman, how to get out and get everybody mesmerized by what is within you that comes out to be a blessing to the world. I am with my beautiful write up here. Every time I have been coming to have the sessions, I have been writing up. It took me a study, it took me a while, and I am still studying. And it's an amazing experience because every time you go to study, you get to realize that, hey, there is this new thing that I have to share out. And today we're going to talk about something important. And it's happening right now. My mouth. The mouth is what we're going to talk about. A Genesis 1:27-28 woman has a very important attribute. What comes out of her mouth. Now, your mouth is an asset, but it could equally lead to your downfall. You know that those moments when you go speak what you're not supposed to speak and then it just lands you in trouble? But those moments when you speak something that is so powerful, that knowledge, when you have knowledge in you, it's usually translated through your mouth. You will speak it and everybody's like, oh, there is something unique about the woman. The words that she speaks are amazing. And where do they pass? They come through your mouth. Now, the mouth of a woman is important. It is a beautiful thing. And I think that's why maybe we also love to decorate it. Anyway, that's for another day. But we're going to talk about that mouth that you have. And there's some attributes I just want to let us know about the mouth and how you should take care of it so that you can be that fruitful woman. Now, number one, interestingly, here I read that her mouth is fruitful. Okay, you're going to ask, how is her mouth fruitful? I do eat, I do speak. Yes, amazing, you do eat, you do speak. But also remember that they're also not able to speak. But they able to communicate in various ways, so that way of communication becomes their mouth, probably through the sign language or whatever. So I am speaking to you two who speak through the mouth or who speaks through the sign language. So your mouth is fruitful. A fruitful mouth builds and not destroys. Now, a question I'm going to ask you: how many times have you spoken against your workmate because you wanted their opportunity? How many times have you blundered or spoke something and to taint someone's name, and yet you knew it's going to break them down? It's not going to build but break them down. And some of us delight in such. Can you imagine you get excited when you go and speak and somebody's name is tainted? Now that does not sound like a Genesis 1:27-28 woman. Now you need to take care of your mouth, because out of your mouth comes the ability to build and the ability to destroy. I am cautious of how I use my mouth. I know it is a process I am still getting through. I know the time that I speak things that get people hurting one way or another, but it is one thing that I try to work against, because I know the power of the mouth. There are times that somebody has spoken to me in a way that destroys me, and girl, it hurt my spirit. Each time that you speak, you're not just hurting somebody's world around, you are hurting their inner being. That is the power of the words that come out of your mouth. That is how powerful this asset is. Very powerful. So girl, you better use it right. If you're going to be that fruitful woman, what comes out of your mouth should be able to build others. If it is coming to criticize others, don't criticize people in a way that makes them feel like they're the worst people the planet ever did have. But the good thing is also, out of such things sometimes people get to grow. But I say, in one of my videos, when someone throws lemon at you, don't throw back, make lemonade out of them. But there are those times when a critic comes and it just breaks your world. It makes you lose your confidence. It makes you lose your self-esteem. Now, you don't want to be that person who makes another lose their confidence. Someone walks up to you for guidance and then you're like, yeah, only that, you couldn't do it. Oh no, that's not a fruitful woman. You need to be able to build someone. If you are going to be fruitful, you need to be able to be in the position to make someone else fruitful. There are those moments when you have to put aside your ego, to put aside your selfishness, and look at where that's, whatever it is you're going to do is going to carry someone to. Look at the words that are going to come out of your mouth. How are they going to build somebody? Are they going to build them or to destroy them? Some of you will be like, no, they need to know the truth. I had to say it that way. They had to learn. Yes, I know you had to say it that way. They have to learn. But equally, as you teach, as you use your mouth, always remember you want a fruit to grow out of your mouth and to be a blessing to somebody else. Now, another thing about your mouth. Now, with all due respect, I'm not saying, the people like say, women love to gossip. I know not all women, but let's use the term. Let us borrow from them and say women love to gossip. Just borrowing. But taking it this way, so that we can learn this. Your mouth is not meant for gossip. Your mouth is meant to build. Now you realize every time you go out gossiping, you are only breaking and not building. That is not a Genesis 1:27-28 woman. You do not expect to go out and do something and expect something else to be done for you. You remember, every time you do gossip, someone else gossips about you. Every time you carry a wrong story about somebody, you don't even got the facts, but you go and spread it a million miles all over the place. Girl, the same thing is happening in your backyard. As you go tell the world how terrible X is, X is telling the world how terrible you are, or someone else is doing the same. So gossip, your mouth is not meant for a gossip. Your mouth is meant to build. A Genesis 1:27-28 woman uses her mouth to build. A fruitful mouth builds. That is what we're doing. How are we getting fruitful? How are we becoming fruitful? Use that mouth right, and you'll be amazed at what happens. Every time I realize I'm about to taint someone's name in a terrible way, I'm like, Liz, would you really want to say that? Even if it's true sometimes. I'm like, let me just hold it. And it keeps burning within, but I'm like, okay, hold it. And I'm like, okay, I will hold it. But it takes a Genesis 1:27-28 woman to know that her mouth is meant to be productive, fruitful, and not meant to destroy someone else. Now, a fruitful woman, a Genesis 1:27-28 woman, is slow to make a vow. How many times have you made a vow and said, I'm going to be there, I'm going to do the assignment. Who is going to do this? I will do it. And then you do not accomplish. Who is going to do this? I am going to do it. You know those kind of people who are everywhere to, yes, I am going to do it. Even before you finish a statement, the person is, yes, I will do it. Oh, I will do this. But when it comes to action, oh my God, you're like, okay, why on earth did she say it? Why on earth did she do it? No. God, rather, no one is going to crucify you for not taking up a task. Rather, they will crucify you for not doing the task that you said you would take up. So if you're not about to do something, do not do it. And even if you haven't thought about it, think about it, and then you say, okay, I'd love to join the team. But don't promise to be the team leader and then you fail to lead the team. That is a terrible thing. That is not what a Genesis 1:27-28 woman does. She does different. She has to be someone who fulfills, lives up to her word. That is what a Genesis 1:27-28 woman is. Her vow come through. I love somewhere in the book of Ecclesiastes that says, the Lord is not interested in you making a vow you're not going to accomplish. If you cannot make it, then don't make it. And that's the same thing in our physical lives, in the work world, in being fruitful. If you're not going to do it, then don't promise people you're going to do it. If you are not going to bring the apples to the party, don't make people get excited. Then when you come to the party, you go like, oh, I forgot. I thought so and so would bring it, but you knew you were going to do it. And everybody begins to lose trust in you. Now, that brings to this. A Genesis 1:27-28 woman, in being fruitful, she does not go back on her word. When she gives her word, she accomplishes it. I know, humanly speaking, the times when you're going to say something and you'll not do it for whatever, something reason. But if it's in your power to do it, then let your word speak. And that goes to one thing. If you have said, I am going to do this, and you're sure you're not going to do it, then communicate and say, probably, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to do ABCD. But saying you're going to do it, after you even accomplish it, I promise I will do this, and then you don't fulfill it, girl, you are tainting your name. And that draws me to this. Your name, at Genesis 1:27-28 woman, your name is your asset. Now, if you can forget everything else, I'm not saying forget everything else, but I'm just reminding. If you can forget everything else, go ahead, but don't forget this. Your name is your asset. And what forms a name? Not that I'm called Elizabeth Rita Auma Chiguli. Hey, no. But what accompanies your name? And usually it is your word, your actions, your word. When you speak, you accomplish. When you say, I'm going to do this, you accomplish. What comes out of your mouth is what makes your name. What you say is what makes your name, and people begin to trust you to help them to do what is required to be done. And that is your name. That is a Genesis 1:27-28 woman using her mouth to build her name, using her mouth to build her position in that blessing we're talking about, the Genesis 1:27-28 woman. Don't underestimate this mouth. It's not just for talking or eating. It carries so much power to help you to become that woman that will be a blessing to nations. It helps you to become that woman who lives the original blessing, that blessing that cannot, that guaranteed blessing of Genesis 1:27-28. So, girl, your mouth, take care of it. The gossips, throw them aside. The blackmailing, whatever, throw it aside. Use it to build, use it to be a blessing. Let wisdom come out of it. Let knowledge come out of your mouth. As I wind up, have you seen a woman speak knowledge? You just keep looking at her and you're like, you see the way her lips go? You even begin to admire her lips, because out of them knowledge is passing through. And you know the Bible compares knowledge to rare jewel, rare, something unique, which means if that uniqueness can come out of that mouth, you are building that name that is going to grow you into being a fruitful woman, into being a multiplier, a subduer, and having dominion in that field that you desire to her. Girl, next time, I hope to hear from you that I have changed my position in using this mouth. If you have been using it pretty good, please keep it up. If you need changes and adjustments, girl, life is all about learning. God bless you. Till next time. Elizabeth Rita Umachiko is my name.